Trollord Games. Join the fray.
We're landed in the troll den.
Trollord Games. Join the fray.
So I'm sitting here, I got X
Trollord
open.
Games.
Are
Join
we
the
live,
fray.
Chuck? Because I'm not seeing it. I'm sitting here, I got X. Can everybody hear me? We good?
Yeah.
So I'm sitting here. This is there's an echo. Is that on me or you, Chuck?
There was the first second. It's gone.
Okay. So I'm here on X. I was just kind of scrolling through it while Chuck was setting up the stream, and my personal X count is a mess. It's really just people doing weird stuff that they probably shouldn't be doing. All kinds of violence and stuff. But I got this young lady here celebrating her birthday when a tiger shark comes out of the water, and it looks like she's going to give. She puts her hand on the tiger shark's head, but she looks like she's going to dump the cake into his mouth. It's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And to have that much calm around, I think it's a tiger shark. I'm not so up on my shark species. And anyway, like Perkins, yes. Wait, not that. You're on a different Perkins. I was thinking, who is the Perkins from? Okay, guys that are my age, Mutual of Omaha.
That's Marlon.
Marlon Perkins, yes. I'm guessing you guys are not talking about Marlon Perkins at the moment. You're talking about something else. At any rate, I loved that show when I was a kid. At any rate, I'm Steven Schnault, CEO of Trollord Games, and this is Ask Me Anything Tuesday. So we're here to chat about whatever's going on. There's been a whole lot of industry upset news in the past 2 weeks. It's not funny, but is whatever it is, what it is. But Volume Death Angel says. There you go. But yeah, but we're not talking about, you guys are not talking about Marlon Perkins. Who was his buddy? There was two of them. There's Marlon Perkins.
Oh, shit. Now I could have told you before you asked.
Marlon was the older guy, right? Marlon was the older guy, right?
Yeah.
And then there was another guy. And I concentrate away. It's funny, I guess. I always love watching Marlon keep a safe distance to walk away. Jim, the wrestler crocodile. Yeah. It was a great show. That kind of, when I was a kid, what I really wanted to do was be a zoologist. That was I don't really know what a zoologist is, but that was my thing. I wanted to be a zoologist. I misfired. So I would like this lady feed the shark that cake.
Someone in our ranks was a zoologist. Who was it?
Really?
No, I mean, it was...
Sarah Clem is a water ecologist. That is for certain.
You remember the document that I found that I told you that I was going to send you that I haven't? The old document about... Someone in there was talking about was a zoologist. It was either Peter or somebody. I don't remember. No, Jason Walton. Cryptologist, maybe.
No. He's not a zoologist. He is a cryptozoologist.
That's right.
He's a cryptozoologist. Jason, I don't know that he still does it, but he used to hunt Sasquatch, and there's a local creature up there in British Columbia. Are there any Canadians in the house tonight? There's a local creature up there in British Columbia that's sort of like Nessie, the Loch Ness Monster. But I can't. Yeah, he's actually in couldn't begin to tell you which documentary it is. It's been 20 years since I saw it, but he was in a documentary. I remember Mac calling me and saying, "Dude, Jason's in a documentary," because he had sculpted this monster that whatever it is, that nest-like champion. Yes, that's it. Savage Splendor knows. Yes, Ogopogo. Yes,
Ogopogo.
Is that right? That all sounds very familiar. Or is Champy the one from Lake Champlain? I can't remember.
I think that's Champy's from Lake Champlain, I think.
I think that's right. Yeah, Champy's from New York. So maybe it's the Ogopogo one. Oingo Boingo, yeah. I haven't quite wandered into the cryptozoology stuff, though it fascinates me. I'm still I'm reading this fantastic
You're still reading
book.
that boring shit, aren't you?
Dude, this is so cool. So I'm reading Passport to Magonia. I recommend everyone get it. It's from Jacques Vallée. And this Jacques Vallée, and you have to say his name like that because he's French. He's a scientist from the 1960s, 70s, 80s, whatever. And he's written a huge amount of stuff on the UFO phenomenon. And this book, hold on, Chuck. I see your hand is up. But this book is making this tremendous comparative analysis between the UFO phenomena of the modern age and the fairy phenomena of the olden age, where people saw the fae that would come and kidnap people and all kinds of stuff. Very, very, very interesting.
That is interesting on a historical aspect.
It's as a sociological study, it's very fascinating because what he's trying to do, he wrote the book in the 60s, and what he's trying to do is make a comparative analysis as how modern mythologies are born. Now, he's not making a statement one way or the other, whether the aliens exist or not. That's not his thesis in this particular book. His thesis is how these things are actually crafted as cultures move forward, and we're living in the crafting phase of one of these cultural phenomena, which is very, very interesting. Too much go, Steve. You told me that was hogwash. I said what was hogwash. There's no telling what I said was hogwash. It certainly wasn't the UFOs. It is Cadiosaurus in the bay at 10-minute drive from his house. Is that it, Jeb Gordon? Is that the one up in British Columbia? Good stuff. I had a crop circle minus the spinach and pepperoni. There you go. Crop circles, all kinds of cattle.
So question about those books. I got 2 questions about that book.
Yes.
Weird. It says we're offline and we're not. Anyway, it's telling me we're offline, but we're not, obviously. Technology. Anyway, that book, how many pages is it?
300 probably.
And be honest with me, how long will it take you to read it?
It depends on how often I get disturbed. It's about 400 pages long. I'll probably get it done in about a week or so.
Okay. That's all I
My weekends are mostly, I don't get a lot of reading done during the week because of this damn company.
Right.
But weekends, like I said, I spent interestingly enough, the power went out here in Little Rock. Well, I shouldn't say Little Rock, in our neighborhood, Sunday at about 10 in the morning. We don't know why. Sunny sky, blue. Power goes out, and it didn't come back on until like 1 in the morning or 12 or something. Yeah. So I sat almost the entire day and read this book. Oh, wow. Nothing else to do.
Well, that's good. That's good.
Let's see. What do we got? Rip Van Winkle got taken in the nose. That's right. Please tell me you aren't expensing all these alien book purchases. I'm not sure what you're talking about there, Jeremy. We have 2 here, one on the island and another in the interior of the province. See, this stuff is just cool. It's very fascinating. All of this crypto stuff is very fascinating. I don't know much about it. I haven't read much about it. A little bit Bigfoot, here and there. But it's all very, very fascinating. But I'm still deep into this, to the UAP phenomena, whatever they're calling it these days. Crypto is more secretive and less technological. Nice. Do we have any questions pop up? If not, I can start doing a rundown. Do we have any questions pop up? If not, of course they make great pizza. Of course they make great pizza. Man, I could use a good pizza tonight.
I'll tell you something. That pizza place that's down there in Lake Geneva called Gino's. I've never ate there until this last trip, and the cousins took me out to eat there. My God, it was the best I think I've ever had up north. It was excellent.
Yeah,
I was unbelievable. I was blown away, man. So really shocked.
Good stuff. What's that other one? I like the Next Door Pub pizza up there too. Really.
Yeah. That's usually where we go to get pizza. This deep dish was unbelievably good. I mean, I've had it before and not there, and it was like, whatever.
Thank you, Malaki, for that. And KevCon1 says, "Hi, Stephen. Will the Adventurer's Backpack or Adventurer's Spellbook be reforged?" The good news on that is the Adventurer's Backpack is almost finished. Being reforged now. I've already finished all of the additional powers for the high level classes up through 24. I am in the rune mark now, making some. Chuck asked me to emphasize certain aspects of the rune mark and simplify other aspects. So I'm doing that. I should have that done probably an hour or so after the stream. I was working on it before the stream started. The rest of the Adventurer's Backpack, I think, is largely been overhauled and is about done. The Adventurer's Spellbook is another case. The core of that book has been done because the core of that book comes from the Player's Handbook, the CNC Player's Handbook, and the AA Player's Handbook. And that's already been done. But what hasn't been done is the 150 so spells that came over from the Elemental Spellbook, the Player's Guide to Aird, the Player's Guide to Haunted Highlands, there's another player's guide in there too, another setting, I can't remember, and then a smattering of spells that have appeared here and there, and the rune spells. And though they don't really need to be, most of those were made up by us, so we don't really need to change names and stuff like that. There's some we do, because some came from 5th edition, the Amazing Adventures 5th edition. They need to be reformatted. And the rune spells are going to be the hardest part of that, I think. I don't have a spellbook in front of me, but so the spellbook is a little bit a harder push, but it's definitely on the docket to be done without a doubt. The Adventurer's Backpack, though, much sooner.
Yeah, I've actually got a channel I'm going to open up in the Discord here in just a little bit for you guys, so we can discuss it and people can drop in their thoughts and that kind of stuff, because we want to make this book work.
Yep. So, how many? Greg Rage asks, how many classes are there? So, officially through Troll Lord Games, there's 13 classes in the Player's Handbook. I want to say it's 14 in the Adventurer's Backpack.
Yes.
And then there's 5 in the Player's Guide to Air. Those are the only official classes that we've put out. There are a host of other classes. That's not true. I think there's one.
There's all kinds of stuff. I don't know, man. There's a lot of shit. I think
one in Nordica. Maybe is it a class?
There's some Mythos classes, a couple floating around for sure.
Yeah, those will be tough. And if we do them, when we do them, but
yeah,
officially there's 27 classes, and those are the classes from the Adventurer's Backpack and the Player's Handbook. Everything else is kind of ancillary. I'm not sure
that's
what
a good,
we're going to do.
That's a good question too about ABP becoming core versus not core. You know?
It really, in my lexicon of things, there's 2 core books.
Yeah,
the Player's Handbook and the Monsters and Treasures. Everything else is ancillary to the game. You don't need to play any of it. You don't need any of it. Jason Walton, president of Victoria Base, BC Scientific Cryptozoology Club. Very cool. I did not know he was president of that club. That is very cool. I talk to Jason 2-3 times a week easily. But thank you, Sparky. Thank you for that. We're pretty excited about it. Obviously, there's many slip between cup and lip, so we're not there yet. But I am confident that we can pull this thing off. And I will. We've got a little bit of zoning stuff we got to work through, but I'm confident within 30 days we'll know where we land on everything and what we can and cannot do. Yeah, Sparky, that's spot
on. Tim's watching, I think. Tim's watching.
Yeah. Otherwise, we're just starting putting capabilities. How's the Foundry DD support coming? Played CNC twice at Gary, kind of loved it. Chuck, that's a question for you.
Well, the Player's Handbook Reforged Player's Handbook is on our store, on our web store. And we will be dropping the Castle Keeper's Guide this week. And then I think we've got something else coming out in another couple weeks after that. We've got an adventure coming out, and then the Monsters and Treasure, and then Beneath the Canopy Green and all that stuff. There's 8 adventures in that thing. So there's a lot of stuff coming out this year for that.
I still have this tweet open. I just want this lady to feed the shark this cake. I just want her to give that shark the cake.
I remember watching a video sometime. There's where those people go. And I know I'm not making any judgment. You do what you want, but you see those videos where people go on those excursions and they kiss the nurse sharks.
Oh yeah.
I'm sorry, but you put your face in front of a shark. Hey man, whatever happens.
I think it's a horrible idea too.
It's terrible.
But to each their own, I suppose.
Yes. Hey, Alan.
How's it going, Alan?
Shit, yeah, you
I don't
think so?
It's the nurse shark, Jeremy. It's all the other sharks.
Dude, and that's the thing. Even if you just got like a little nick, it's over with. Once the blood hits the water, you're done. Well,
there's some pretty interesting footage of these guys feeding sharks, and there's about 4 of them in the water, and they're in waist deep, I believe.
Right.
Feeding the sharks, and I'm not sure what kind of sharks they were feeding, but one of those sharks just kind of rolls over and takes the dude's calf off. And just swims away with his calf because it doesn't take much of anything. That is what they do. I'm wondering when my Adventurers Armory package will arrive. I've been pinning for a week. I'm dying in anticipation. They've been flying out. We got another 70 or so in the mail today. So hopefully by Friday this stuff is wrapped up. We had a small snafu in the ACD distribution. Needed a pretty large order of stuff shipped before the 18th, so we kind of had to shut everything down and get that palletized and on ABO trucks and head it out. So, and that's all for the big shindig that they're doing in May. The Dakota's going to go up solo. His first solo big company event. We'll see how he does. Did the alien get abducted? Yeah, one of them did. Some of them are still on my desk, though. Octopi are fascinating when you start reading about them offspring from Stone Dark River. See, that's not right. I think you're a wolf alone. That's an empty one.
Yeah, Jeff. Oh, here it is. Jeff's got a question. The new Armory books, Adventures Armory, Monsters Armory, and War Mounts. When will there be a bundle? Oh, Jeff, there'll be a bundle as soon as I get around to putting it on the store. Well, I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait just like a little bit because we got, people still getting their fulfilled and everything else. I just kind of, it's on the list. It'll be soon. Soon.
Manfred asks, will the transition to the new print shop slow down any of the outstanding Kickstarters? No. My actual hope is that it will speed that process up. But by the time we even break ground, which I'm hoping is in about 30 days, you know how that goes. The Armory books should be done. We've got a little bit of a snafu with Beneath the Canopy Green. I haven't quite pinpointed it yet, but I talked to the printers yesterday to get a ship date. It should have shipped this week some point, but they've asked for permission to delay it for pre-press issues or something. So I'm not sure what's going on with Canopy Green. But the screens for Canopy Green are being printed now. They should be here in about 2 weeks, give or take. We've already got the Role Players Vault printed, cut, ready to go. Dakota started printing Crusader 28, whatever 28, 29, whatever we're on. Then there's the Barsoom guide too. So the print shop will have zero impact on those. The 2 books that go into Exaltum and Infernum will be going to Walsworth, so those will not be impacted at all, as will all of the stuff that's in the Gygaxian World Builders Guide. So no, this print shop, what it's going to do is impact, and I don't think it's going to impact that much. Honestly, it's going to impact my time as I have to get all of this paperwork together and do all of this stuff, get all this stuff going. But I have enlisted the assistance of 2 exceedingly motivated sons of bitches up in Central Arkansas, where we're building, and they are texting. They're young guys texting constantly, ready to get started, ready to get rolling. So I don't anticipate the only problems that I anticipate us having vis-a-vis the new factory is permitting and working with the government and trying to get this T crossed and that I dotted or whatever mess is going on. Let's see what Kothar says. When he just said he was done with the aliens, but now he's got more to say. I am convinced that if there is extraterrestrial life on Earth, it's the octopus. It has nerve clusters throughout its body, which function as primitive brains. Each limb has a brain. They are extremely intelligent, despite being solitary cannibals, a total contradiction in evolutionary biology. They can identify surrounding colors and textures and mimic them perfectly. Can they make flying saucers? Is the question we have to answer.
We must ask ourselves.
Question, what do we call the Shire? The Shire, aka the new publishing building. We've been rolling around all kinds of stuff. So for years and years and years and years, and Tim Burns, if you're out there somewhere, you know the story of this. Tim has sat in the car with me for decades, and every time I would see a smokestack somewhere, I'd go, sometime I'm going to own a factory and I'm going to actually make things. So it only seems natural that we call this facility the factory, and Tim and I are going to secretly go out there and build a smokestack next to it, even though it has nothing to do with the factory, because we won't be making any smoke whatsoever, so that we can at least have a smokestack vis-a-vis the old days. Is there intelligent life on Earth? It is the octopi. Octopi swallow helium and float like balloons. They don't need ships. There you go. As a European, I feel left behind. What is that? It's going to be interesting, though. We'll see plunging forward what unfolds in the near future. I'm pretty excited about it. If it all falls to pieces, 6 months from now, I'll be going, damn it, whatever. I don't know how the EPA would be a purely aesthetic smokestack. I don't call it a smokestack. It's a storage building. It's just circular with a hole in the top. So again, the factory is going to ruin the Shire. Yes, the factory is going to ruin the Shire. I will say this, Coop Waffles. So I am not a huge fan of these corrugated iron buildings, and they're all over the place. Obviously, that's the cheapest way to build yourself a structure, an auto garage, whatever you do. So the few things that we're going to do, we're going to use painted iron, whatever they want to call it. Jeremy knows whatever they call it out there, steel, whatever it is. And so they give it some kind of texture to it. So it'll be two colors, whatever. And we're going to plant some dogwood trees, probably. What is that? Not wisteria. What is the other one? The crepe myrtles in and around the building to beautify it somewhat. And we're going to try to build a facade on it, depending on the cost. I don't want just some corrugated iron building dropped onto this acreage to kind of wreck the natural whatever. We'll hang some bird feeders, the whole 9 yards. We will beautify it as much as we can. Have you watched Resident Alien King? Blah blah blah. It is a stone pizza, often with a great exhaust system. That's it. The stack could just be for making pizzas. There you go. You've got it, Coop Waffles. We will make a pizza kiln that is 50 feet tall. There you go. Yeah, stone wainscoting is also part of the option. Yeah, so we're going to look into all of that, and just we're gonna make it as pretty as we can, because I would rather. I'm sure there's no way cost-wise we do it, but I'd rather have a brick building. I'm sure that's not anywhere at home of the Gray Raven. If I could keep a kumquat tree alive, I would do it. And maybe out there where there's plenty of sunlight and the soil's deep, we can actually do that. You're not getting a brick building. Do what, Chuck?
I know this is going crazy. I hate to interrupt your conversation with the world. I'm busy over here slaving. You wouldn't happen to have a list actually of those classes, just a list of the classes. 14.
I tell you what I can do.
I can make one, but
I don't think I do, but I can take you a screenshot. Would that work for you?
No, I need bare text. That's fine. I'll do it myself. I thought you might have something quick. What's the term you used earlier? Close.
Yes.
Quick. Whatever it was you said.
Okay, quick. So give me 30 seconds.
Oh.
Okay. I don't think I do, but I'm going to look. I'm going into the old backpack files, the text.
Good luck. I can just.
Class. Did I do it? No. To answer your question, I do not.
I'll do it. That's fine. You got a question from Silence in Australia there.
Let's see. Does building regulations help prep for adverse weather that may occur? Curious to compare. No, not here in Arkansas. If a tornado hits us, a tornado hits us. Now, as for those of you, some of you may have followed my own kind of personal journey in the past few weeks. We have a tiny little place up in the mountains, and it became submerged under the Spring River, about 5 feet of water up into it, and devastated, absolutely devastated that place. I had to pull all the floors up, the walls out, like so much mud. I've never seen so much mud. It was crazy. But there's nothing beyond insurance. That would be a nightmare scenario for us if we had this set up and a tornado hit the building and took all of our books. We've got a lot of books, because we print deep. We don't just POD these hardcover books. We print them in the thousands. That would be an issue. But the only thing we can do is insurance.
Before we take any more questions,
when a tornado comes, a tornado comes.
Before we take any more questions, real quick, I wanted to real quick talk to everybody. You can talk to them about it. I wanted to talk to them about Sebastian and Stranger Comics real quick, and let's put that out there for those guys. So they.
Hey, I found that master list. You need it?
Yes, please. Yeah, sure.
Go ahead.
I'm impressed. Let me find. Well, so much for that. Here we go. Yeah, right here. So I'm going to put this in. If you want to talk to them real quick about our friends over at Stranger Comics, I'm going to drop this in there in the chat for everybody to see. This is just a highlight.
You'll have to catch me up. We're doing a giveaway for Stranger Comics.
We're not tonight. We're going to do a giveaway Thursday. All right. We'll have a giveaway and some free stuff for everybody Thursday. We'll make a big deal about it. But up until that point, I'm going to drop this link in here, and you can talk about. It's a Kickstarter they're running right now. They've got until Monday on it. It's almost over with. But the reason why it's so interesting to us is, besides them being friends, is they're actually doing an adventure for CNC, right, Steve? Over in there.
Yes. So they're going to do a short adventure using Castles and Crusades. Moving away from the 5th edition bandwagon. So go over there and give the folks support. Their art is through the roof. That comic book is badass. So definitely check them out. Some great stuff over there. Yes, if a tornado hits you, it doesn't. There's nothing you can do. That cabin, Death Angel, that water was 23 feet above flood level, and ours sits way up. It just it did not matter. Lummox Beast 75. Can we get an update on the starter box? Yes, Lummox, you absolutely can. And if you want to talk monumental F up, you can lay that right at my desk. So we were barreling quite along. Everything was going good, doing the box layout, and I kept having trouble with the box layout. The box was it was too ungainly, it's too wide, it's too much more like a square. And I kept talking to my rep. She said, "No, this is what you signed by. No, this is right, blah, blah." So this went back and forth several days, quite a few days. And then I realized that I had signed a quote for the wrong box size. So when I signed it, they just, somewhere in the communication, the box sizes got confused. Now, whether it was on my part or their part doesn't matter, but I signed the quote, so that's on me. I messed that up. They had already cut the board for this box. Well, I didn't need a box that big, so we had to go start all over again. Now, they were able to kind of salvage most of the board, and I had to pay a little bit extra then on top of what we were paying. They were crazy nice about it, but this caused a 2-week delay. So they had to do a whole new template thing, blah, 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 blah. I should have the new template in the morning and then get this thing back on track. So yeah, that's all on me, but it should be out in late May. That's what I'm confident. I double checked the quote this time, so the box should be the correct size. But yeah, so that was on me. Let's see, what do we got here? Thank you, GD. We did. We're doing everything we can. And if you know anyone in the industry out here who is very worried, I know a lot of people are. A lot of people have come to rely upon the overseas supply chains and manufacturing facilities. Please give us a shout. We'll help where we can.
I just got a. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I just got a PM in Discord from somebody who wants to see if we can publish, or not publish, but print for them.
Print it, yeah, absolutely.
Just now.
That's excellent. After Castle Zagig, are there other Gygax properties you hope to do? We are supposed to hear. I talked to the attorney last week. We are supposed to hear about Gord this month. So I'm hoping any day now we know about Gord. So that's what's next on the Gygax docket. And will the factory have a drinking stuff? Dakota did ask once it's built that he have an area. It's mostly going to be his show. I'm still going to be working down here. He'll be working up there. But he asked if there could be an outdoor area where he could go outside and eat lunch in the wilderness. And I said, of course. I eat lunch outside all the time. What? He wants a gazebo. I don't know if
I totally get that, but you're not going to be up there.
Huh? No, I'm not driving up there. Are you crazy? Why would I do that? I'll have an office up there, but I'll be sitting right here working away. I trust the Troll Lords emphatically. You guys are a great group of people. So I trust you all. Wow. Whatever. Hey, Ross went flooded their building with water from every faucet.
Oh,
I saw that, Coop. That was pretty cool.
Yeah, that Kickstarter artwork is impressive, Silence, for sure. In fact, I think they're gonna be doing some printing some stuff for us. Maybe, I hope.
Hopefully. That's a quick question. Is the AC for the Griffin and Nightmare a typo in war mount? It's 24 base. Just seems super high with a barding on top. Let me see. I don't. That's got to be way high. I think. That's probably a typo. I think a Griffin. Yeah.
How old is this list, dude?
Yeah, I looked at it. It's wrong. You can't use it.
No, it's good. It's all good. But when I seen Harbinger, I was like,
Harbinger became Ethereal Knight, but I can't remember what the Hawker became.
Oh, God knows. That's fine. I have my PDF here. I'll be fine.
The Griffin armor class is 17. Yeah, that's got to be a typo, Donkey. That's definitely a typo. That's probably its armor class with, and the barding would be my guess. That would be my guess. Let's see, and we got more coming down, so it's going to be good. It's not great on a 10-year plan to become the primary game printing facility. So hopefully, I the acreage is large with plenty of room to expand. So I have that in my mind, and there's something that I've been wanting to do for a long time. And I know Dakota's on board, and so it's Davis, Chuck, everybody. But currently, we don't do hardcovers. I would love to be able to do hardcovers. It's a lot of equipment. It's a lot of new equipment, but I know this is the first step in that direction. because to do that, we're going to need space. And to do that, we're going to need a really good commercial grade printer.
Yeah.
Right now, we're kind of on a semi-commercial type thing. So yeah, I'm not sure if it's a 10-year plan, but we are headed in the general direction. The AC on the gazebo is really high. They should get TPK case, but that's right. He can get his own. He can get his own TPK out there. You sure Dakota won't try? Dakota really wants a pond out there so he can sit and fish. That's what he really wants. But I'm not putting a pond out there.
No, because you won't get no work done.
No, he'll never work. He also wants a forklift really bad. And I was like, dude, we're not getting a forklift.
Really?
We'll probably eventually get it.
Oh yeah, sure. They're fun.
We're out of a floodplain, so we don't have to worry about water for the most part. Though it does rain in Arkansas, we do got to keep that in mind. Saw an email about the fact that the transition will be painful for quite a few years. And will the gazebo have it's paint on the roof? No doubt it will. We're going to try to make that place just look nice. The Hawker became the gross spitting night. That's about right. I can't remember those original names for the adventure back. Where they? Let's get that open again. The Archer, the Demi-class. I don't know what that formerly. It was the Avatar became the Demi-class. I don't know what that became. The Skald, the Warrior Priest, the Magic User, the Hawker. I think that became the Pacer. Primal Druid, Thief, Harbinger. That became the Ethereal Knight, Oathsworn, Arcane Thief, Forsworn, and Seeker. Oh, there's 2 other classes created for it: the Etherborn and the Varangian. Oh, interesting. Forget all about it. And one of these days, Sparky will get you to do it. We'll gather all of this discarded material up and put it in a gigantic book called Discarded Troll Lord Material.
I was going to say, awesome. What kind of name you want to give it? Yeah.
There you go, Death Angel. The Hawk Tour. Oh, good Lord. You. Apologies, this has been asked, but have all the Avengers armies paid shipped? Haven't shipped? No, they have not. Starglow Games. 2 things on that. Make sure that you've paid your shipping on it, because I think Chuck said there's still quite a few. We're going to send another notification out in the next few days who haven't paid shipping. And if you have, just look in the next day or so. We had a little bit of a snafu today. We had to get a whole bunch of stuff on the truck to ACD. So I told Dakota to stop everything else and get that on the truck because it was time sensitive. So that caused a little bit of a hiccup. But should be back on track tomorrow. Ponds like rivers and CC or a separate step block. I like the way you think. I still got to get Davis to write engineering rivers. Unite me to run eventually. I ran my first CC game last Friday. This is from Sebastian Allard. I'm very happy in the game when we played it a lot. Thank you, Trollers, for the awesome work. Thank you for that, Allard, and I'm glad you had a good time. It is a blast. It's a hoot of a game. It's a hoot of a game, and it plays so very fast. Welcome to the dens. Join us on Discord and all the other social media that we wander around. Forklifts are awesome. We used to get new people to stand on the forklift launch them into the ceiling tile. I'm sure Dakota would be all over that. Double check the 180 floor plane. Yeah, we will. It's supposed to all be zoned for this, but it gets it. It gets it. Upon a slow moving circular river. That's right, Coop. Engineering temples. That's what we need. He's actually, I don't know if he started working on it, but on his docket is Engineering Towns, the next book to Engineering Villages. So that is definitely in the hopper. I'm pretty excited. I'm almost finished with the next aired expansion book. Should be done tomorrow, no later than Friday. I think I got 3 cities and the Vale of Lothian to do, and then the Saline Watershed is finished. And when I'm done with that, early next week, I'm gonna take the map, the Ursula map, the one you see behind me, and I'm gonna carve it up into all of the areas that are going to be expansions, and then put those titles on those areas, get rid of all the terrain and all that crap, so that everyone will know if they're adventuring in this area, that is this book to expand that. Get all the titles laid out, and that way I can write them much, much faster. It is called the Saline Watershed, Sparky, and it starts up at the coal range in the north of the Massif right there. And it goes all the way down to Ethanel to the city at the very bottom of that, and includes both sides of the Massif. Is that working? You'll tell what I'm putting it. And it is literally, I think I got about 2,500 words left, and then I'm done with that. Should, what did Gary used to say? The good Lord will and the creek don't rise. Should get it done tomorrow, but no later than Friday. Sparky, it's one of those things. I'm fixing to accelerate everything aired. I've been working on Alstrag also kind of in the background. the Adventurer's Backpack, wrapping. We're gonna just wrap up stuff in rapid order coming down the pipe. So when are we gonna get engineering brothels? Not very soon, but you never know what's in a town or
That's
a city.
awesome. Engineering brothels, yes.
Probably a little bit of brothel news, work up in the engineering cities. Yeah, I think it's towns. So we got any questions floating around there? Chuck?
Not that I know of.
All right.
I think you're on top of it.
Sans any questions, I'm going to do a real quick Altamira info right there. So we are waiting for the manuscript from Jay. I'm not sure where he is on that. He turned over. He, of course, just had surgery a week ago or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he's got another bout of surgery next month, or maybe it's this month. I can't remember when the second round is. And once that's done, I think he'll be able to focus back on that. So we're kind of looking at midsummer for the manuscript to land, maybe late summer. And as soon as it does, we will begin moving on that like crazy. And it's some badass stuff. And it will go in the Gelderland. I'm going to do the Gelderland next, which will be down there. No, over here. Right? I cannot do that.
Yeah, he sent over that bounty hunter stuff too. So that's going to be exciting.
Yes, bounty hunter stuff landed. Yeah, I'll get a mini gazebo made for the counter desktop. There you go. Lord willing, and if the creek don't rise, I did not know that. Coop Ruffles, I assumed it was about the creek rising. 148 scale for D&D. There you go. He can sit around his gazebo anywhere else and have his lunch and imagine the sunlight.
We said 14 classes in there, right?
I think so. It might be 13, but 13. I think it's 14.
It's 13.
Is it 13?
Oh, unless I'm missing something.
I thought there was 13 and then we added rune mark, but I could be insane. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. No, there's 14. The Arcane Thief.
Oh, I see what's going on here. Warrior Priest.
Okay, there you go.
Is missing from my list.
Yeah. The Warrior Priest.
Oddly enough, one of my favorite classes. Except in your game. I mean, what? All right, let's see.
I updated it. You're going to like the update. It had too few lower level powers, so I gave it a little bit more.
I forget what it was. That last game we were playing with Sarah and them, it was the one with the cottage,
Yes.
I don't know what class. I thought it was a warrior priest, but it was one of them, and one of the abilities wasn't very clear. I need to go back and read which one it was, and you just shut my ass down hard. And I was like, dude, this is your name on the book. And you're like, I don't care.
That'll learn you, Chuck. That'll learn you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It will.
So let's just give you a quick rundown on the Kickstarters to answer folks out there. Or if you have any other questions, throw them up. This will be very, very quick. Jason turned over the manuscript for Exaltum. So that puts Exaltum into the editing phase. We should be able to get that moving very quickly at this point. Hermit's all shipped. Reforged is mostly shipped. We've got a small delay on Beneath the Canopy Green. I got to figure out what to do with that. I'll let the folks that back that know in the next 48 hours. The War Builder Archive, I'm talking to Bill about getting layout beginning on the Canting Crew. We've already got 4 of them queued up for layout. So what I'd like to do is start getting those PDFs out to you guys ASAP. We'll see where we land on that in the next couple of days. Is there one more floating around in there? Did I miss one? No, Armory is shipping now. Should be all shipped by Friday. Then there'll be stragglers that come in Monday and Tuesday. If you haven't paid your shipping on Armory, please do so. And then, of course, the one we just closed down on Backer Kit, Castle Zagig. I've already talked to Wesley. He has begun sketches for the portrait of the Mad Mage, and I have talked to Svetlana and given her all the information she needs to start mapping the 3 maps that she's doing for that. So that has begun, and Jeremy is chomping at the bits to get into the Citadel and begin to reforging that. I was hoping to get that to him yesterday and then today, but it didn't. So we're shooting for tomorrow. Probably by Friday, he should have that manuscript in hand, and then that begins that as well. So we're moving fast on Backer Kit, and on what is that called? Galleries of the Archmage. So good stuff all the way around. And I'm freeing up a good 4 hours a day to work on Elfstrag and the Codex of the Plains and the expansion books. on my desk, which is very, very nice. This is how I've managed to wrap up the Adventures backpack material. I haven't completely wrapped it up. I still got the rune mark to tinker with. But beyond that, we are moving forward. I'll try to get it to you tomorrow, Jeremy. All that distributor crap is done, so that shouldn't, knock a couple hours out of my day like it did today. It's really what I got to do is find the correct manuscript to send to Jeremy so that I don't send him the incorrect one, and he fixes that, and then we got to go figure out the fixes in the correct one. It's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. I lost a lot of weight. That was a lot of fun, Tome of the Grey Raven. That was a lot of fun. Okay, Jeremy. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed that 12-hour stream, and we stuck with it. You guys stuck with it. It was just pretty cool. And jib jabbering for that long. When the rest of the Reforged Kickstarter books being sent, I'm ready for some Canopy Green. So they're all ready, except Barsoom needs a little bit of a touch up, and the Canopy Green, something has happened to delay it at the printers. I'm trying to get them to work around that. They asked if they could have a lot more time than I particularly want to give them. That said, I've been with them for 20 years. I'm going to start screaming and yelling over something that nobody can control. It has something to do with equipment failures. So it is what it is. But they're trying to do a workaround to get me at least enough copies of Beneath the Canopy Green to ship to the backers. Now, that is the plan. How much is your commercial printer going to cost? Dread Monkey, it's going to be a lot. We're looking into a bunch of options. Interestingly enough, for those of you who, I know some of you don't use X for whatever reason, but Dakota and I were doing research on these printers. And there's quite a few that my rep had sent me, but I was wanting something heavier grade. So I got onto Bing at first, and then DuckDuckGo, and eventually Google. And it's the same load of garbage that you get on any of these search engines. You can't find anything. It's all advertisements, or it's trying to send you to Reddit or whatever it's doing these days. So I said, you know what? Yes, I'm just going to get on. I'm going to ask Grok. Now, for those of you who don't know, I use Grok occasionally. It's really the only AI that I know that I'm using. There's probably other AI that I don't know I'm using. But I got onto Grok, and I'm super polite to Grok. I just thank you, the whole 9 yards. I'm just, please, can you help? I'm just as polite with Grok as I am with an auto mechanic. Anyway, just super polite. So I had this great relationship with Grok, which is fantastic. But anyway, so I asked Grok the question, and the amount of information that was put before me was extraordinary. And it gave me a list of companies, it gave me addresses, it gave me cost analysis, it gave me speed of print, it gave me footprint, it gave me all this information, and I would say in probably 15 to 20 seconds. No advertisements, I didn't have to sort through anything. I copied the block of it, pasted it into a Word document, and now I've got at least the bare knuckles of what I need to figure it out. So I was super impressed, and I'm pretty done with the traditional search engines. I'm just pretty done with them. Canopy Green Cross on the rivers, yes.
So there's a question earlier from Sweep Ray Z. If the factory is easy to get to, would an attached game store / cafe / maybe bar be a possibility?
/ maybe bar, yeah. Yeah, actually, Dakota and I talked about that today. I mean, we definitely will have enough space to do any number of things like that. Where we're building is growing like crazy. I think we've always wanted a game store. We always thought that would be kind of a cool front to do. It's on the table, and not in the immediate future, but it's definitely on the table without a doubt. If I keep it up, I'll replace them all with Grok. There you go, Armel.
Did you get Winter's question about Reforged Kickstarter books being sent?
Do what?
When are the rest of the Reforged? Did you answer that?
Yeah, I answered that.
And then Plain Some asked, are there any major changes to the Ethereal Knight yet? But I think you're still...
No, I don't think major to the Ethereal Knight. Let me look real quick. Let me see if I can find it. And Jeremy, none of it was nonsense. Absolutely none of it was nonsense. It literally websites to equipment that I went to go by the whatever the number on it, the 9200 series. It was so much useful information. I was a bit stunned, because I'm used to having to sort through a mountain of garbage to get to a phone number that I'm supposed to call someone and ask the same damn question over. I really don't like search engines. I think that they've turned into this gigantic milieu of crap that they try to shovel at us. That's utterly pointless. Let's see. Ethereal Knight. Do. Let's see. No changes there. Kept plane shift as a third level ability. Lando, I know that's going to piss you off, but but I kept that as a third level. I think what I did on the Ethereal Light Moses is clear up the language. I just cleared up the language to make it a little bit more narrow focus, so it wasn't such a broad focus on it. And then I added 4 abilities to the higher level, 4 or 5, 4 abilities to the higher level of the Ethereal Light. But I don't think any major changes happened. Let's see. I used to work on a 12-roll commercial printer where we did mostly supermarket sales ads. We also did large binder that soft and hardcover books. On occasion, we were contacting a random house to print books when they couldn't keep up. We did some TSR. Oh, that's very cool. TSR stuff. But I don't remember exactly what we printed. I only worked there about 9 months. I would love. They're all gone. But the offset printers would be, those giant printers would be absolutely awesome. Lando, I will put a note in there for you. I'll put a note in there for you for the if they hop to the planes as third level. Nice to know the Ethereal Knight will remain on my banned class list. That's good. That's good salesmanship, Jeremy. Every time you come into the chat, it's good to hear you hammer away at Troller Games. Yeah. So the Ethereal Knight, the complaint that has been voiced is that no third level character should be allowed to plane travel, and I disagree with that, and the reason that I disagree with that is the same thing that I'm kind of baking into the Codex of the Planes. I don't know how you play, and you may want your beginning first level character to jump to a different plane and to have the same kind of epic adventures that whoever plane travels has, whatever. I have no problem with that. I think that's cool. I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't really do low level plane travel. But the way I'm writing the Codex of the Planes, they're going to be designed for levels 1 through whatever. Plane travel is not restricted to high-level characters. Now, as a CK, if you want it to be, absolutely. Run your game however you want it. But I do want the option to be there for people coming into the game from elsewhere. And not the old, tired, and true.
Yeah, and Donkey's pointing out the main problem that I was trying to explain to you earlier, and I just can't get my brain to work.
It's not the plane travel, it's the instant teleport anywhere on your current plane.
Right, that's got to be reworded. Yeah, because that's the issue with that.
Yeah, I gotta read where that is. What is this class? That's the rune mark. Hold on. I already closed. What are we looking at? The Ethereal Knight.
Yeah, right.
Let us see.
Because it basically says anywhere on a plane that you're familiar with. Well, if they're familiar with the prime material plane, which they grew up on, all right, let's go to Inclune. No, let's go to the Mist.
It doesn't have teleport at all, but it can plane shift more than once a day.
So they couldn't plane shift. They couldn't plane shift to the plane they're on, right? Right?
No, they can plane shift once per day.
Right, but they couldn't plane shift. They have to shift away from the plane they're on. How's I would word it. That keeps them from hopping around on the planet that they're on.
Yes, yeah, that's how plane shift works. Yeah.
Right, but the way it's worded, it sounds like they can just go wherever.
Well, I may have fixed that. The third level, the Ethereal Knight is able to plane shift once per day. They can travel to any point on any plane,
right,
with which they have familiarity or knowledge.
Right.
Yeah.
I would say except their home plane or some shit like that.
I see what you're saying. So.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can fix that. Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Easily done.
That's true, Airmail.
Requires you to cross a river.
Well, Airmail's right. A lot of DCC adventures, they're famous for low-level planar travel, for sure.
Are they?
Oh, yeah.
I just, I don't, and that's the whole purpose of Castle Mistakes, right? Is we don't want these rules to restrict your imagination in any way, shape, or form. And if we hard bake plane travel is an 18th level wizard's ability only, then or whatever level they would get it, and then we've hard baked that into the game. And we don't want to do that. We don't want to hard bake. We want to hard bake as little as possible as we can into the game. Yeah, Manfred, there you go. That's the way to do it. There you go. Boom, fixed. Perfect. That should solve that. Yeah. Should they require ritual setup of components in time to plane shift? They do not. I can't remember what my archetype for the Ethereal Knight was. It wasn't Elric because Elric doesn't plane shift. Was it Corm? I can't now remember what it was that fired me up about and it could have been some cartoon I was watching. There's no telling what it was. It was a hot minute ago that I read that. Is it maybe it's Corm? Jeremy may be right because then that's got to be it because I infinitely prefer the first 3 Corm books to any of the Elric books. The latter 3 Corm books, they're okay. They're not as good. But the first 3, what is it? The Knight and the Sword, the Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords. I can't remember.
Of course, Jeremy says he likes the later 3. That makes perfect sense to me. That you two would like either side. That's funny.
That should surprise no one. Knight of Swords, Queen of Swords, King of so that's probably where that's the Ethereal Knight comes from, is my guess. I never did read the Amber series. I need to read that stuff. Let's see, Amber series by Robinson Alonzi and 2 plane shift all the time. And no, Stephen is right. Corm is the superior eternal champion. I really like Corm, and I've read the Eternal Champion. Right? What is that guy's name? That's whatever that guy's name is. And I've read all of the Elric books, including the one that he wrote later that he kind of inserted in. And that was actually my least favorite of all the Elric, interestingly enough. Read all the Corm books. Ericos, yes. I want to say I started the Brass. Does he got a staff of Brass? But I only read like 1 book or something. I cannot. Hawkmoon. Yeah, I think I've read like the first of Hawkmoon. And I don't know why I just didn't finish it. I just, went on, whatever. Yeah, I wasn't too. Who has a brass something? Jeremy, someone's got a brass something, or I'm on crack. And the read this newest Elric book came out a year ago. I have not read the one that came out a year ago. I read the Fortress of Pearl, Count Brass. That's the one. Fortress of Pearl. Is that the one that's like between book 2 and 3 or something? That's probably what I'm thinking. I can't remember. I see the first 3 Corm books were great and gave us the hand and Eye of Ignite. Yeah, you're right, Jeb. That actually, just mentioning that makes me kind of want to go revisit those books. Let's see, Brass. There you go, Tom. Had to come out of the woodwork for that one. All right, let's see. I think we've got to start winding down. Does anyone have any last questions you want to throw at me? Exciting news. If you haven't seen it, go check. It's on my Facebook page. It's on, I don't know where it's on. It's everywhere, Facebook, Twitter. I don't know where Grace put it. She put it all over the place. The Chronicles of Count Brass. That's the one. Yes, Fortress is an older book that comes between some of your, it's 1 or 2 or 2 and 3. It's okay. It's Michael Moorcock. Yeah. I have never read, though I'm going to, his Dancers at the End of Time series. Has nothing to do with, it's not on MySpace and Coop, but we'll see what we can do. Is MySpace still a thing? And the Dancers at the End of Time. Yes, I've read like the first 2 chapters, Jeremy. I was like, holy shit, I'm gonna have to pay attention to reading these. So I will revisit those at some point. David's probably on MySpace, probably right now. I'm going to revisit those Dancers at the End of Time. It's been a long time. What did I just finish? Jeremy, you'd probably like this book. It was written in 1961, I think. It's by an Englishman. It's the Winter of the World or something. It is the most low-key apocalyptic book I've ever read. It's basically the Ice Age comes, freezes the top part of the globe, and people either die or they go to Africa or South and Central America or to wherever. And the whole first section is this guy's marriage falling apart, and with a friend, and his friend's marriage is falling apart, and then how he moves to Nigeria and he has to live on the streets for a while and gets a job working in television, and then he ends up at the end of it, he ends up in this expedition back to the United Kingdom. I'll send you the title, Jeremy, and I would never think that I would read something like this in a million years. Literally, the first half of the book is this kind of marital story, but it's so well written, and the characters are it's very English, very so low key that it's captivating. And I stuck with it to the end. It was driving me nuts. I started that like the day before the place got flooded. So I had to stop reading to go fix all this flood problems. It was pissing me off because I just want to finish the book, see how it ended. I'm going to go get the title right now so I don't forget. Give me 30 seconds. This is the most low-key apocalyptic book you're ever going to read. It's called The Long Winter by John Christopher. Excellent book. Absolutely excellent book. I think it was 61 or 63. Just bizarre because of the whole 1962. So I was wrong on both accounts. But there you go. Yeah, The Long Winter. Crazy stuff. All right, with that, there's a computer game called that. Is it really The Long Winter for John? Yeah, it's the what, Chuck?
Trivia question for you. What is it known outside of the U.S.?
This book? I have no idea.
The World in Winter.
Really?
Yep, because it's about an ice age caused by a reduction in the output of the sun, over in Europe. But anyway, I just actually stumbled upon this fact here. So.
That's funny. It doesn't say that at all in the copyright page here. That's kind of cool.
Yeah,
they did that a lot with the Burroughs books too.
Yeah, what's that other book that I've got? The Burroughs book, the one with the where they got the I just got through reading that too long ago. The fucking line, and you cross over to Europe, and it's all shambles and everything. You know,
what is that called?
Oh hell,
the Lost Continent.
Yes, and the lines are loose and they're eating everybody.
Yeah. I think that's the Lost Continent here in the
United States.
States.
They need some Tarzan up in that bitch. Seriously, hard.
Coop, I think we're actually in a cooling period. I don't know if Davis were here; he could explain it to me. I don't know. There's a whole thing going on. It's very confusing. Alexandria, I was wrote the Tripods books to bring us full circle to aliens. Now you're talking. I love Pellucidar, Jeremy. I love it. All right, with Pellucidar on our minds, let's wind this up. Remember, we've got another stream on Thursday. We'll be doing some giveaways for the Kickstarter. We'll be closing very, very soon. Not ours. It's I can't remember. It's,
I'm getting ready to post a little thing in here again already.
My brain is fried. Go check out the post we put out today about coming soon from Troller Games Doll Factory. Look for your Kickstarter stuff coming out, and more news just pouring out every day.
Yep, I sent out the Expanding Classes 2 book to all the backers last night in PDF, and like Steve said earlier, later this week we'll be sending out another reminder everybody through Kickstarter to pay for your shipping and do all your stuff. And I'll be doing another round of sending out links about the PDFs to people that missed it again too. So just kind of keep your eyes out.
I will say this. Yeah. For those of you who are Aired fans, there is a version of Aristobulus coming out soon. That's all I'll say.
What now? What did you just say?
That's all I will say.
I didn't hear it. What did you say? Because I couldn't.
There's a version of the white mage Aristobulus, the magic user, coming out soon.
What do you mean a version? We need to talk about this. I need to know. You and Mac talk too much. All right.
Yes, Greg.
Penise, we're talking about the PDFs for the Armory is what I was talking about. Sorry about that. About the Armory Kickstarter.
All right. On that note, we left the Pellucidar note and we wandered off into whatever strange area. You all have a great rest of your week. Thanks for showing up today, and we'll be back, soon.
Yeah, let me get over here and get us out of here. I think we're good. All right. So on that note, I'll be back. We'll be back Thursday, and then I'll have my stream Friday morning. I'll be back on my stream Friday morning, so that'll be good.
Jeremy, I do like the land of the time forgot that you go from primeval cavemen all the way around to a city. That stuff's pretty cool. Burroughs was badass. He was just badass.
He was badass. There's nobody can argue that shit. That's for sure.
All right, everybody. Take it easy. Have a good evening.
All right, y'all be good. See y'all. Thanks a lot.